Hello? 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 Can anyone hear me? It looks like everything's working now. Sounds working, mic working. Alright. Well, good evening, everyone. We're playing Drăculești. It's a demo that's released about a couple of days ago, if I remember. Yeah, the beginning of July. It is a horror romance VN, and it can be kind of gay. It's mostly gay. I didn't want to go like too much into it. I kind of wanted to like be, are we dating Dracula? You can date Dracula. Hey, Nana. But yeah, I didn't want to read too much into it. I wanted to go in pretty much blind. All I know is that you're a lawyer, a divorce lawyer, and Dracula's getting divorced. And you do have the option to date Dracula or his wife. And there's like two other characters as well. But I'll have it up at some points, but there are definitely times I'm gonna take over. You can actually vote. This game has like integrated Twitch voting for uh routes. So that's gonna be fun. So I feel like I might be a little bit biased to certain characters already, just looking at their portraits. Let me get out chat so I can see. Forgot about that. Whoops. But it's very gothic, very horror-esque, so this was like right up my alley. So I've been wanting to really play this for a bit. Romania, 1931, Castle Dracula. Wonder how many people are dateable, not just Dracula and soon to be X. There's two others as far as I know. Let me. I think Discord is still up. Whoops. You didn't hear that smile? Hi, Roger and Renfield have been sent by the Harker and Hawkins law firm to complete the sale of a number of English properties. The castle master. Okay, maybe he's not a divorcee lawyer. To the castle's master. He is kind of hot, TBH. Prince Dracula. Though Dracula has been hospital, his domain is less so. Ghosts haunt the halls of this oversized tomb, alongside other unnameable creatures, man made of smoke and ash. My host swears they're nothing but bad dreams. Yeah, sure. Silver Vampire Fox. Oh yes, it's true. I have a history of waking nightmares. I've lost good years in a sanitarium. Oh, he's okay, he has issues. Alright. But since winter nightmares have leave handprints. Damn. I like these background effects too. No amount of charm and hard liquor can fully convince me the monsters aren't there. The more Dracula piles me in with them, the less I trust him too. Who can I rely on in this terrible place? Our nightcap knocks me out until sunset the following day. I'm a total disgrace, and I feel like shit. Someone's come through and left documents on the desk. I'm absurdly late for work. At least there'll be a distraction from everything that happened last night, my own conduct included. Alongside the documents is a breakfast tray. Scrambled eggs, bacon, grilled tomato, and hash browns. Most of it looks delicious. Can't say I want the bacon. These parts, it's best to eat it and avoid any undue attention. Besides the plate, a freshly cut rose is being used as a paperweight, keeping a delicate piece of stationery in place. I move the rose aside and look at the message. Master Renfield, I apologize for the disturbances last night. Do not feel guilty for being distressed by the condition of our home. It makes terrible noises that stoke worse ideas. If you like a tamer evening, there'll be a tea in the parlor where we ate yesterday. I invited the brides for a proper introduction. Theodora is eager to hear about her new home. Present yourself at a parlor between 7 and 8 if you've any interest. Otherwise, best of luck with your work. Prince Dracula. As I eat breakfast, I consider my next move. Whatever I do now will set the tone for our relationship from here out. Should I try to patch things over or let the wound fester? Furthermore, there's that forbidden haunted bathroom. My bathroom, the closest to the tower anyway. Best to confront new fears as soon as possible. I can't spend this whole trip afraid of a sink. If I don't attend tea, I ought to confirm the ghost was nothing but a trick of the faulty lights, lest I develop a new phobia. Besides, I never did get to shave last night. What'll it be, Winfield? Heed your master's call or brave your creepy toilet? The creepy toilet. Oh, I get to pick now. Okay. Prove the bathroom gross doesn't exist except Dracula's invitation to tea. Hmm. I mean, but tea would eat. You're right. I do love me some tea. Hmm. Alright, we'll go for tea. It would be rude not to take him up on his offer. He is my host, after all. And when he saw me jumping at shadows last night, he was uncommonly polite about it. I might have already offended him, scared over nothing but the creaks and strange shapes of an old castle. I hope I haven't ruined our relationship before it's even started. Wink wonk. Is the game sound alright for y'all? At 7 on the dot, I step inside the parlor. Dracula waits on the sofa with a real guide in his hands. He's totally absorbed and doesn't acknowledge me until I'm just about at the coffee table. Ah, evening, Master Renfield. Planning your trip? I thought we'd charter a boat, but then I'm remembering Bistrita had a rail service. Now I'm wondering if that's easier. It it'd have to be, wouldn't it? There's a lot of coast between Romania and Britain. It wasn't always like this. Strange how the world turns once they didn't think it turned at all. I remember when a trolley rolled through the parlor door. Aw. The bride in the old-fashioned dress pushes a tea tray alongside us. She moves the teacups and saucers to the table, then offers us milk and sugar. Dracula refuses both. Just milk, thanks. There's a range of sweets on the middle shelf of the trolley. Care to join us, Theodora? She looks at me with disinterest, but takes the seat regardless. Comfortable, Master Renfield? Oh, yes. I hold my cup between my hands. In the mountain climate, any extra source of warmth is pleasant. It heats the joints of my fingers where the fireplace doesn't fully reach. I'm a bit stiff from work. The break is worthwhile. My husband says you come from London. She doesn't pour herself any. Oh. 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 Uh-oh. Wait! Oh no. That's not a good sign. I need to put myself right here. There we go. Her hand folds over each other and across her lap like a large pale butterfly. The fact that it's Renfield is hilarious. Bishon Renfield. That was definitely an intentional choice. Theodora is maybe half Dracula's middle-ish age, younger than me, certainly. Yet she has manners I haven't seen outside my father's work parties. They make them different in the Balkans. A night on the town in Berlin would give her a heart attack. London originally, yes. Is it nice? Is it nice? What do I say to that? It's London. Whether it's any good doesn't matter. It happens to people whether they like it or not. It'll happen to her soon. There's always something to do, always something to see. Everything you'd want from Metropolis. But you left. But I left. It's sad seeing her obvious discomfort with her husband's plans. I don't know if leaving will be an option for her. She doesn't seem to have had any say in them going. Oh, well, Theodora is apprehensive about whether or not we'll fit in, if civilization is worth bothering with, if it refuses to take us. She forgets we've never needed anyone's permission or attempted to thrive. He reaches over the arms of both sofas to hold her shoulder. His grip on her is sturdy and resolute. He's not offering typical reassurance. It says, "You should know this. Remember who we are." There are good people in England. That much is true. Shrugging Dracula off, Theodora reaches for the middle shelf of her trolley. Enough of that. How about a piece of cake? She rummages through. There are a few choices. Sponge, meringue, torte. All of that just for 3? Oh no, for you. Hmm? Vlad and I are both allergic. Oh. Well, that's... Hmm. The cake? Coliac. A strict meat diet, with plenty of wine and coffee to wash it down. Or tea. He sculls his cup, leaving only the dregs. But you've gone to such an effort with these. It's fun baking. When I was young, I liked to bake. Bread mostly. Now there's never any reason, unless we have a visitor. She made them from scratch, a so-called princess baking for a commoner. Which will you start with? Oh! There's an option for this? What? The answer, yeah. Can I have all of them? All of these sound good. Alright. So we're gonna start the voting process because I can't actually pick this one. We'll do a couple of these from time to time. So how it's gonna go, there's each answer has oops. Each answer has a number, 1, 2, and 3. So in the chat, type vote and the number. So like that. Like I typed. So there we go. It is now up. I'm going to vote 3. I honestly don't know. I didn't think cake would be that make or break of a route thing. Hmm. Well, we shall see. Honestly, I think out of these 3, my favorite is Tort. I don't like meringue that much. Sponge is alright, but it's not like my favorite. But cake is always good. The results are in Tort. That's actually really cool. I don't think I've seen a VN like work with Twitch chat before. A dark crumbly tort, a concentration of different ingredients, chopped hazelnut and orange rind. Here you are. She takes it from the trolley. It's on a bread plate that matches the cup and saucer. All their dinnerware seems to match. Amazing how the other half live. When I lift it from the plate, it's immediately obvious something's wrong. The slice breaks like the Titanic, a rumbling split halfway that sends the tear tumbling back onto the plate. Anyone who's eaten a tort before would know something's wrong. But if she's allergic, maybe she's never eaten them. I feel bad for judging. Thank you. I bite in. This thing has never encountered the concept of moisture. Forget the Titanic, this is a Sahara sandstorm localized exclusively inside my mouth. But the dark chocolate is rich and the orange is tangy. And I'm a brave-hearted Englishman who can survive a bad slice of cake. Ate it too quickly. Maybe she'll take it as a compliment, rather than a desperate need to get it over and done with. She looks surprised. Was it any good? Her dewy, doe-eyed stare puts me on a back foot. She's suspicious of me. Can I lie convincingly enough to overcome that? Even if she doesn't believe me, that might be better than damaging her pride. At the end of the day, she did give me cake. Being honest would show respect, though. She could also improve before she bakes for someone else, avoiding upsetting her future English neighbors. What to do? What to do? Be honest, respect her intelligence, lie to her, spare her feelings. No! I don't want to be mean to her. She seems nice, but like... Man... Hmm... Alright, we're gonna be honest. We'll be honest. Not bad by any means. Dark chocolate and the orange and the hazelnut came together to create a great depth of flavor. But... But... Her eyes somehow get water ear. No! The edges of her mouth tremble. No! I'm really about to bully a 20-year-old over her cooking. Cooking she can't eat because she's allergic to it. I have an escape. Does this kill me if I if I be mean? Am I being mean? Am I being mean? Alright, I'm already halfway there. We're going for it. There are some areas that can be improved. Oh, try adding some more moisture to the recipe. Extra butter or eggs. Thank you for the feedback. He tenses and scoots away from me along her sofa. Dracula, who's kept silent through our whole discussion, suddenly lurches forward and places his empty cup on the saucer on the table. If Theodora made a mistake, it wouldn't happen twice. Of my bride, she's by far the most responsible and careful. She twists and arcs her whole posture toward him, like he's exerting some tidal pull on her. The shine in her eyes turns from hurt to admiration. Try the others. He brings an additional pair placed down either side of the one I finished. I jump at the noise, then snap my eyes back up to confront his gaze. It's dark, smoldering, compelling. Pride flag emoji question mark? No. He startled me and I don't want it to happen again. That's all. Isn't it a little admirable though that he take that kind of offense on behalf of his wife? Plenty of men wouldn't care unless he did something to insult their own taste, like calling their partner ugly. Let's say it's admirable. Take out my fork again for the battle ahead. Of course, they look. I continue. He and I continue to regard each other as I plunge it in. Wait, what? Wait, huh? The wording for this one, that was intentional. Okay, video game. Wonderful. Once I finish all three cakes, Theodora loads the trolley and prepares to leave. It's been a pleasure. Er, it's been a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Master Renfield. The pleasure was all mine. She curtsies slowly. The trolley rattles off along the corridor to whatever distant part of the castle the Kinches are in. Guess I'll be going too. Work to be done. I appreciate how understanding you've been about how late I slept. Not to worry, everyone's nocturnal here. If you were up at dawn, you'd be the odd man out. Ha! Allergic to sunlight too? Well, I mean... Actually, yes. Why did I make that joke? Whenever I think I've got a chance at clawing into his good graces, I waste it on a social gaffe. I don't try to credit to my firm. Constant malnutrition makes us faulty. Makes us pale, faulty. Our eyes can't stand the light. All four of you? It's hard to believe. A whole family of nocturnal coliacs with vision problems. Oh well, birds of a flutter flock together. These things do happen. Who am I to question it? I'm glad you got each other for comfort. Standing, I smooth out my suit and dislodging a few crumbs. Well then. Wait. Throws a hand out at hip height to stop me. Connects briefly against my right side, the flat of his palm over my pocket. As your employer, what if I commanded you to stay? Zam. The princely fantasy of his might have gone a bit too far. Oh shit, that when you want, yeah, he's so he got my money. Zam. It really do be like that, huh? Wait, I actually didn't notice that there was this menu here. Boldness, danger. Fountain pen, the second most important tool in a solicitor's arsenal after his mind. It's half clogged with dry ink and needs a good clean. Sure, we'll save. Oh, it automatically saves. Okay, that's fine. Man, dude, we've got a business contract. This isn't the military or a court. He stares, full of human desperation. I don't think this is a professional interaction on any level. Hey, Dark. I got you on the head pat. I would disobey. Good night, Dracula. Vince? Zam. What does that mean? Hmm? Hmm. Are we sticking with Dracula? I would assume this is like a make or break point. Hmm. Now, well, okay, well, we'll go all in. I could be convinced. There's bourbon in the cabinet. Stay, drink, talk. He's whining and dining me before. Okay. I will need a lot of convincing. Zam! Alcoholic too? Alcoholic with mental issues? I'll turn to face the wall and move for the liquor cabinet door instead. Bottom shelf. The bottle with the rose pattern. It's beside the glasses. I grab both. When I turn back toward the sofas, I notice the door to the halls has closed, though Dracula remains seated in the same position as before. Stealthy. Also, the music just changed. Tip the neck of the bottle at the hall. Castles get dressed. You'll acclimate. Yeah, okay. Placing the bottle on the table, he scoops it right back up, pouring the glasses as fast as I can get them and the coasters down. He plucks from the table without spilling a drop and extends it for a toast before I've got mine. We toast. To better prospects and a happier futures. Sure, that. We drink. His first sip takes half the glass, but after that, he slows right down, dipping at it like a hummingbird. I take it at an average pace. Typically, I let my clients lead interactions to avoid seeming pushy or misreading their mood. Dracula is special, a force of personality, but there's an unease beneath, a fear I don't see in clients in Amsterdam or Paris or Warsaw. It's quiet out here. There's power in being untouchable, but it's not the type he wants now. What if there was something in reach, something within his grasp? If I may. Why England? I mean, aren't we trying to sell you this? Something, don't want to ask too many questions? Why do you think? His voice is flat, almost a rhetorical question. He rotates his glass in one hand like a pot on a wheel, inspecting the smooth surface for imperfections. Because you're lonely here, because you're bored here. Hmm. Because you're lonely here, because you're bored here. We'll say lonely. I have my brides. Are the three of them enough? No. He smirks and looks over my way. Maybe four. No. That's not what he meant. I perished, I thought. Now, I ought to warn you, bigamy is illegal in the United Kingdom. If all three of your marriages are certified and not just what you're calling your girlfriends. Not to worry, none of them are recognized in any of your courts of law. Which would leave me open for a British match, wouldn't it? To an open-minded woman, of course. Who said anything about women? Pride flag emoji. We Dracula's always been a bicon, TBH. Shoutouts to him, for real, for real. The prince is going to destroy me. Oh, he's blushing now, I just realized, on his portrait. Gay. That's a separate matter entirely. Let's hope progress can be made there, too. He toasts the air with two-thirds empty, with his two-thirds empty glass. Never for one moment breaking eye contact. Zam. His expression is insufferably smug. Okay, I like Dracula a lot. And devastatingly, forget it. It's not just the loneliness that's getting to me. I'm no mere land baron, Roger. Roger is fine, isn't it? But an investment manager of sorts. It's a bad... Is it? Blech. What are words? I got caught. It's a bad idea to question where old money came from, whether he's a war profiteer or a patent hoarder. That's information I generally prefer not to know. Sure, Rogers is fine. There's one particular investor I'm an agent for. Until now, he was comfortable with a focus on Romania, limited pool of Romanian businesses. The times have rapidly changed, which means to sustain the relationship, I must move to a larger pond. England. London, England. A population twice that of Transylvania, half that of all Romania, crushed within a single city. Given the recession, I'm sure the gents at Canary Wharf will be excited for an extra source of income. It needs new lifeblood. I need fresh donies. Sounds like it'll be a perfect symbiotic relationship. And if it's not, well, he tosses back the last of his drink. It could be the end of me. I won't go down without a fight. I've survived too many setbacks to die in this wretched century, surrounded by foes who couldn't hold a candle or a sword to the enemies of the past. Dracula can't be older than 55, and I would have put him somewhere in his mid-40s. This part of the continent is supposed to have changed a lot since the start of the 1900s. I hate to think what he went through in his youth. Yeah, he's 40, so we will get your happy ending. Oh, that's a promise. A promise. Those aren't like they used to be either. Zam enhance. He's clearly 648 years old. He looks really good for 648 years old. I want to believe yours. Oh, I promise then, Roger. Stand at Carfax together, fat off the riches of England, and laugh at the idea fate might have stopped us. Since there's nothing left in his glass to toast with, he lifts it high overhead where the ceiling light pulls inside. I drain mine and hold it out as proof. We both laugh. It's not just the bourbon that's raised our spirits. Mine is high, hoarse, embarrassing. I rein it in as fast as I can. His rolls and stresses out, settles deep, warms the air between us, a selfish bedmate of a laugh. Until he wakes to some happy reality and his face returns to its disdainful default. We're nowhere near the end yet. Starved here. The paperwork will be done soon. A hunt tomorrow. Yes, a hunt. Roger, come hunting tomorrow. Hunting for what? Oh, he meant literally starved. Is there any game near the castle? Maybe back at the bottom of the cliff path, but that's hours away. If we keep our eyes out, not much hunting. I'm a city man, so no. A city man who had a city girlhood. 2 strikes against it ever happening. Don't worry about the game. Bring your warmest clothes and your sharpest glasses. I've never come home empty-handed. Zam. She's a provider too? Okay. Alright. I set the glass on the table. You're on. It'll be an exciting reward after hours of paperwork. I'll have to head to bed. Fix the sleep schedule before it gets any worse. Not to worry. Like I said, we're creatures of the dark. Quite literally. It works for some. And I'm no early bird myself, but there's a limit. This time when I stand, he doesn't block the exit. There's a flicker in his eyes. Sad, calculating. Someone who's had something taken in his plan to get it back. Good night, Dracula. Vlad. Vlad. Bow my head to him and leave the room. A few steps out the door, I brushed past the bride who was in trouble yesterday. Zam. She turns a box of cigars in hand, barely responsive until our arms meet. Her patience long since spent. Hmm? Pardon? I take it slower to see if she has anything else to say. We never got a formal introduction. Flipping the box upright, she tucks it under her arm like a purse. Took your time in there. Sorry. You didn't mention any prior engagements. It's not like I was on his calendar. This is just a habit of ours. You taps the exposed end of the box with two neat pointed fingers. Hit it off? I like to think we're warming to each other. Uh-huh. Careful. It's like that fireplace in there. Get closer than that. Get closer than you're supposed to and you'll overheat. She must know about his varied tastes. Thanks for the advice, mistress. It says. Just says. She stalks inside. The door slams behind her. As good a, as good a sign as I'll get that I should head to bed. Just as soon as I can remember the way to the tower. Safe in bed, the key turned in the lock and the window latched. I tuck the blankets up under my chin and shuffle around until the mattress forms to me like a sparrow in a dust bowl. The castle is too gloomy, too sprawling to ever feel comfortable, but at least I've ended today less afraid of the host and with a clearer sense of who and what else is here. It's not a normal home, but it is a home to someone, and I can rest easier in the knowledge that I'm a welcome guest. The hunting invitation was a surprise. Will I ever get the paperwork done? Hard to complain though, being invited out somewhere by a man like Dracula. Sorry, Vlad. Not that it means what it used to. I crush my head between the two farmer's pillows in hopes I can grind out the thoughts mortar and pedestal style, crush them into fragments too fine to hold on to. When I moved to Germany and signed on for treatment, it was a choice between being who I wanted and having the partners I wanted. Kind of men who will flirt with other men who. Wait, what are words? The kind of men who will flirt with other men aren't interested in me. The science isn't far enough along for that. All talking piece, all taking pieces out and no installing replacements. And I'm not allowed. Had to lie end to end on the forums. Of course, red blood, red blooded. I love cigars, girls, and wait, what kind of treatment? Wait, hold on. Wait, is Renfield trans? Hold up. Is this what this is hitting at? Cigars, girls, and hunting. You got me what mattered. The rest, normal men pretend to like those things all the time. Berlin's full of white-collared heterosexuals who've never held a gun. Yeah, I'm like, wait. I had to read that a second time. Like, wait, does he mean he's trans, or maybe he's saying he wanted to, but it's not exactly it? Huh. Because Germany was big on that during this time. Maybe he is. Hold on. I need more info. You play along and pretend it's the activity I'm interested in, not the scout leader. Just a bit older to sit the exam. Just a bit older to sit the exam than the rest of the troop. Somebody save me. Tomorrow will be a disaster. My thoughts can't keep me from the Sandman forever. Sleep comes to rescue me from the house Drăculești sooner than I expected. Take me far away to show me other people. Here he is. What kept you? Doesn't matter. There shouldn't be any interruptions tonight. Let's see what layer I can reach. The phone rings. I answer. Roger speaking. Is M available? Sorry, she doesn't live here anymore. Oh no, you wouldn't happen to have her contact details. There are people who love her who want to know she's okay. No, not her details, but she and I run to each other sometimes. Would you like me to pass on a message? Are you sure that's reliable? It's the best I can offer. I know she's there. Who are you trying to fool? Why would anyone trust you with anything when you lie about the simplest facts? What? No, that's wrong. Put M on the line. Dracula looms overhead. His knees straddle either side of my hips and his hands on my head center on the sofa armrest. Wait, hold up. Wait, that escalated very quickly. What would you offer in exchange for this moment? That depends where it's headed. Is this worth your intestine? This a visual novel kind of game? Yes. Hey, Nerith. We're romancing Dracula. he dips, he dips in and I cannot talk apparently. Jesus Christ. He dips in close and kisses my forehead. How about your loyalty? Your lips travel lower to mine, or perhaps your life. Slipping around my jaw, he disappears against my throat, mouth opening wider to fit over tangle of tendons and arteries and veins. Wait. Hmm. Course it's worth it. It isn't worth it. I don't know. Hmm. Huh. Don't know. That entire part hit me like a brick, and I'm like, wait, there was so much that happened there. I mean, they also said that Renfield spent time in a penitentiary, so that could also be like the treatment. But then they also it went specifically into like, I need more context. Like, well, hold on. All right, we're going all in. Of course, it's worth it. When he speaks, his tongue flickers against my skin. Good. You're very lucky to catch my eye. Don't take my interest or my patience for granted. Take hold of his shoulders to move him aside. He's stronger than me. I can't. We kind of got the visual here. We can see Dracula. Yeah, you can see Dracula kind of. His teeth sink into my neck longer and sharper than they should be, curving under my skin to penetrate the vessels beneath. I'm a guest in my own body. He's the new landlord. Before he can drive himself deeper, a cold wind blows through the room, and he dissipates like smoke. Can't have that now, can we? Dreaming of him like that? It is just a dream. Put your hopes and face what he does to people. Castle is missing its taller towers, none of the stonework damaged. The windows glow a duller shade. Oh wow, blue balled by Dracula. No, it's someone else. Someone else that's invaded the moment. You don't know what zoner to pick up? Pick up Hosmo, even though he's not the actual zoner. There are murmurs in the rooms of the gatehouse either side of me. I stand with the tips of my toes against the drawbridge in the spot where the portcullis will fall if it's lowered. On the opposite side of the bridge, across the track, a shadow clambers up the rocky mountainside in a great hurry. Someone has fled the castle. It's important to bring them inside. That's why the bridge hasn't been raised. Despite the fact, Dalman. Oh my goodness, how do I pronounce this? Domnita? It's too late. We must. An arrow fires to the exterior of the gatehouse. There's an army at the gates. A dozen of men on horseback charge along the cliff track toward the bridge. For the most part, they wear clothes instead of armor, and they carry old weaponry, swords and longbows. Jolted from my complacent stare at the mountain, I hurry inside in search of the portcullis crank. There's no sign of the mechanism on the ground floor, so I zigzag up several flights of stairs through the guard rooms to the top of the gatehouse. A man in a tunic struggles with the crank. I can't, not by myself. Without a word, I take the other handle. We unwind the chain until it's got momentum. The portcullis fall as the horses arrive on the bridge. There's a crunch as it lands on an attacker below. We stop the riders, but if the gate is propped open any wider than a human torso, human torso, they could just dismount and crawl past. Didn't know you had it in you. You got to help bar the entrance. Stop them. Pardon me, Dominadia. Domnita. There we go. But we're gonna assume that. I'm not sure actually how to pronounce this. But we're 4-1 at best. Weren't we to evacuate? I know you'd rather not leave him, but I'm sure first and foremost he want you to suppress. A sword cleaves through the guard's head. His corpse collapses forward to reveal a trio of sweaty, winded invaders who've been forced to enter on foot. I wheel around and flee through the opposite stairwell. At the bottom, I barge past an additional trio attempting the pincer maneuver. I'm too startled to do anything. Exiting to the frenzied courtyard, I check the gate over my shoulder. The portcullis did crush something. Now men rise and shuffle past on either side of the mound. While I'm distracted, I run headlong into a solid object. An arm locks around my chest and hand lashes my skinny wrists together. This invader who's caught me presses his clean-shaven jaw close to my ear. He raises his voice to get above the chaos despite our proximity and almost deafens me. Domnita. Where's your dom, eh? Try to stomp on his toes, but his boots are too thick. He laughs it off. Where's Dracula? Didn't abandon you, did he? Ro said, where's your top? Leave all his precious things here for the taking. I don't know where he is. Arm tightens, trying to bake my ribs. Ugh. That's so. Lord Dracula fails his vows, abandons his castle, runs his principalities into the ground. Worthless, isn't he? Hurts. The arm relaxes. The volume decreases. A chill runs down my spine. It's not the same man behind me. All the invaders have disappeared. Is he worth the effort? Watch yourself. This is what happens to all his people eventually. Cold hand grasps the back of my head. It sends me face first into the solid rock wall. Here we are. Ammunition. I booked your tickets. Your mom brought over your bags, and all we have to do is get Southampton and you're home free. My tickets? You're not coming? That friend in Callius? He only has that one room, and besides, I thought maybe you like some independence. I mean, wasn't that the whole point? If I leave by myself and they come look at... They won't. Your mom has everything with your dad handled. Lucy and the rest might be upset we skipped our party, but I'll sort it out. Anyone who wants to hunt you down will have to go through me. Enjoy your freedom, Dove. I'm letting you go. What if I want us to stay together? Will anyone ever be as good to me as you've been? I've forgotten how to trust the world and myself. Best intentions don't mean you're not throwing me to the wolves. Wait, who's saying that? How can I ever repay you? Give the office a call the moment you pick an apartment. There's a whole stack of jobs with your name on them. We need our top conveyancer back. Ha! What is all about the company? That'd be easier. Clean break for this stupid heart. Heart that only wants the impossible. Thank you, Jonathan. Now get some real rest. The sofa's yours. It's all I deserve. It's more than I deserve. I'm lucky to be here. I'm lucky to be alive. But what if I could ask for something better? This is your final warning. Leave Vlad Dracula alone. My gun is loaded. If you're not with me, you're against me. I shoot to kill. Oh, now I'm awake. Alright. Even though I went to bed at a reasonable hour, even though I knew absolutely had to not even though I knew I absolutely had to not do it, once again I slept to sunset. Vlad. Vlad. Forgive me, there's something wrong with me. Maybe it's a cold. I behaved unacceptably. A fever, perhaps. I got a Roger? He sits on the same sofa as last night, rail schedule laid out on across his lap. Everybody else is still asleep. Take what I said to heart. This is a nocturnal household. And the only prescription is more cowbell. At 4 in the afternoon? My word. Then, since you're awake early though, we can sneak out before anyone sabotages our hunting trip. He folds the schedule aside and gets to his feet. Yesterday he stayed seated the whole night. I've forgotten how tall he is. As he strides closer, he only gets taller. He halts mere inches away, so I have to tilt my head to meet his eyes. Short King. Shall we? Where to? The stables. Pushing past my shoulder, he leads to the corridor. Someone is already at the stable gate, slouched in front of the latch with her arms crossed. Cesara. Husband, dearest. Come for a ride with us? That's not all you boys had in mind yesterday. Ah, she overheard. It's not like you to be concerned. She glances at me, then back at him. This isn't the reason for it. Barely any game. What if there's black ice? It's not worth the risk. Consider it an important cultural lesson for him. This is how we live in the mountains. He tries to weave around her to the latch. She slides to block him. They shift left and right in a stalemate. Slip past while she's distracted. Try to reason with her. Maybe it's better not to go hunting. Hmm. Firm. Hmm. I guess we'll slip past. Vlad hooks to the left. Says mirrors him and grabs his forearms as it extends out. They're stuck. I got an opening. Scoot right, pull the bolt, and swing the first of the double doors open. Excellent, Roger. Ha! Turning the face inside, I see it isn't that simple. Third Bride holds the reins of the saddle horse, halted mid-step as she walks to ready another. Ugh. Oh, then why are they so bloody? Uh-oh, it looks like you boys have a toggle on. Hey, Anna. Hello. I'll also take a horse outside to exercise? Riding lesson? The lady wants a riding lesson. Prefer me to act like princess? Show me a nice way to ride horse. What was that smile? Both of them ignore me completely in favor of glaring at Bad. No one likes Roger. Meet my third bride, Oleana? Never agreed to anything. This is the level of behavior we expect from her. Unhappy with free thought, or that I take your pony? Fine, she can accompany us if you're this distrustful of me, Cereza. Clearly we have to try to improve that. Ileana, return this to me and fetch your Ceres. Where do you think I go before? Roger. The red mare in the far stall, Robigo, would be about your size. Thanks. Awkward conversation. Nobody's ever taken me hunting, but there were a few school and family trips to stables. At bare minimum I can saddle and lead a horse. He's gonna fall flat on his ass. Robico is calm and cooperative. Her gear hangs right by her lot. Some gentle words and slow pets, and she's happy for me to harness her. By the time I'm ready, Vlad and Ileana have both left the stable. Robigo and I walk outside to discover Cez is gone. She moved while we were distracted too. Ileana is mounted, Vlad is in the gatehouse. I clumsily stick a foot in the stirrups and sling myself over. Rather than a graceful roll onto my seat, I thud heavily on the hard leather. Do not neuter yourself. Oof. It's fine. I'm fine. The gate rumbles upward. Vlad returns to us, and his great black horse, Dis. Onward. The wind is our first obstacle. High on the cliffs of Tehuta Pass, the only protection the castle walls, and we've left those behind. Please tell me we're heading somewhere sheltered. Halfway along onto the ranges, Vlad doesn't shout over the wind so much as his voice carries through it, a great wildfire spread further by a gale. His cape billows, but only in directions that won't obstruct him, as if he's an actor pursued by a special effect. A man of constant majesty, the hunt was, of course, the purpose of posturing. To my knowledge, many hunts are, but this is someone who really knows how to posture. He shoots ahead of Liliana and I, along the track to an intense stretch of darkness where the tightly tucked turns block the dwindling sun in our view. Are we supposed to chase him? We're not gonna ask why she's kind of bloodied up. No, ignore his challenge. Maybe he likes a man who keeps pace. His fancy is not worth the risk. You don't think I can do it? Your funeral. My pleasure to clean what's left from the cliff bottom. Failure a good spice. Turns men sweet and sour. Flavorsome corpse. That smile. I kind of like her. The longer I hesitate, the wider his smirk. Will it be safety or ambition, his company or hers? I, I was saying I didn't like her, but also I feel like I don't want to stay here that long. Chase after lead. In for a penny, in for a pound. I dig my heels in, hug the reins, and urge Robigo ahead. Her peaceful demeanor cracks like the surface of half-burnt firewood to reveal an ember inside. We canter, then gallop around the unpredictable cliff track. Rapid turns of the track are hard enough to follow visually, let alone react to. Tight corners, damaged edges, false steps. Despite herself, Robigo almost overshoots coming from a downward slope into a right angle. Pull on her rein just in time to avert disaster. She comes out of the stop, skittish and heaving. There, girl. It's okay. When I look ahead, I glimpse Vlad's black cape in the red flares of twilight. If I can just push a little further. Sensing my resolve, Robigo whines assertively, prepping herself back up, and hurries to a canter. We will catch him. Vlad! Right by a crossroad, he pulls Dis out of his gallop, and the pair rear high. Turning to face Robigo and I, they wear matched looks of impressed frustration. It wasn't a competition, but it was, and they've lost honorably. Ha! Well met, Roger. Don't be underestimated. He resumes a trot. I decelerate to meet and match him. Together we take right off the main cliff track and deeper into the mountains. This crevice with its sheer sides keep us from the worst of the wind. The path climbs towards the snow dust and mountain tops. Compared to the crevice, the twilight peaks are blindingly bright. I cover my eyes as we approach. There are almost no trees here. The wind is gentler, but paralyzingly cold. It's close tonight. The moon is watching. What and how are we meant to hunt under these conditions? Ileana arrives several minutes later. Seeing everyone in this new light, I realize that, aside from some basic knives, nobody has any weapons in their kits. Where to? Nowhere. There's nothing to be done on this mountain, except perhaps maybe show me side saddle. There is. He tilts his head as far back as it'll go, his eyes fall close. An animal to the southwest, near the ridge, I think. How can anyone tell that from the whiff of the air? Experience. Come, it'll flee for its burrow if it realizes we're on its trail. What do I do if I spot it? Truth be told, Roger, I doubt that'll happen, being unfamiliar with the local wildlife. What if I do? You're full of surprises. We continue from the plateau to the base of the mountaintop. This whole area works around, then descend onto the ridge. As the ridge goes along, it hollows out underneath, turning into a precarious shelf that curves out of sight. And the shelf narrows and narrows and narrows. At the widest part we pause. My knuckles are white from the temperature, and my tight grip on the reins. The creature is just past that corner, which means edging around the nearest part. Urgh, do it yourself. Leave the Englishman to me. Want to be throwing to see if we can make it, Roger? When I agreed to the hunt, I accepted the risk. I'm definitely too wide for that path. Any Agrot would be. Vlad is. Yet he's confidently it won't be a problem. Suicidally confident. The last of the light shimmers on the ledge. We're again in for the penny, in for a pound. In a single smooth motion, I dismount Robigo. Ignoring Ileana's appalled expression, I pass the reins to her. Vlad follows suit with this. Worthless idiot, he will let you down the cliffs and all else. I'll be back soon. Vlad and I walk at a relaxed pace over the narrowing shelf. Is that what she does? Follow people around being patronizing? When she isn't grumbling at me. Underneath it all, she's a jewel in her own right, and a prince needs jewels on his crown. Or in his crown. Someday she'll come around. Seeing people for their potential is smart. Forward thinking. Yes, of course. You've got potential too. Are you saying you're trying to wife me? What do you see in me? An amusement, a steward, a companion, a general. Give him the right stuff. I've nothing but sustenance to burn through. Zam. Extending a hand from his cloak, I expect a grip on the shoulder or a pat on the back for him, but he reaches higher and further to stroke my cheek with his thumb. I'd be ashamed to have to waste a handsome face on anything less than companionship. And while I'm distracted, he strides ahead. The shelf becomes too slender to walk side by side. Following single file, I soon feel my left foot twist right and my right foot skate left. Black ice. Vlad isn't bothered. Now we can't even face straight ahead. To continue, we have to put our backs to the mountain and slide along. In less than 10 feet, there won't be enough past to support full length of our shoes. There's still ice and wind. Press myself against the mountain and look out. Jagged white peaks, black skies, and a golden moon. The only other thing in sight is Castle Dracula. Its torches glow red through the night. The eerie beauty of the Carpathians holds me in its thrall in a moment too long. Vlad clears his throat to indicate I should move. Fear finally seizes my legs. How do I... Don't worry. Close your eyes. Why? I'll do it if it'll get me off this ledge. An arm rests beneath my legs while another slips behind my back. I'm lifted from my feet. Oh, and we start flying, huh? Instead of a falling sensation, I feel us drift sideways, sturdy hands maintaining me at a perfect level. My back separates from the wall, which should mean we're not on the ledge anymore. That's impossible. How? Keep your eyes closed like you were told. Open your eyes. Oh. Oh. Actually, what is their status? Boldness and danger. I feel like this is one of the times where I should actually keep my, like, listen. Actually, I have been listening, huh? Let's keep our eyes closed. Rather than breach his trust and look, I close them tighter. I hold him tighter. Magicians never reveal their secrets, and I won't deny Vlad his. We aren't falling, that's all that matters. We round the corner and come to a stop. I'm placed back on my feet. When I open my eyes again, Vlad is there. We've arrived. This platform is a few feet across. It's not massive. It's not a massive amount of space, but it's enough that I feel steady and safe. I twist around to discover a large cave mouth. Inside is a messy, angular tunnel that runs out of sight. The wind hurries through determinedly. There must be another exit somewhere else on the mountain. Something lives here. Shall we find out what it is? Within a few turns, I've lost the sense of where we are. My eyes haven't adjusted. Vad places his hands on my shoulders to guide me. Forward, watch your step. Obstacle on your right. They move along a passage to where the wind doesn't blow. He sniffs the stale atmosphere. Close. Ahead of us, a pair of bright yellow eyes reflect from the dark. Front-facing, a predator, too small to be a bear. Looks like whatever you've been tracking must have been eaten. There it is, our prey. We're unarmed. Don't be afraid. Watch. Imagine a future where you're capable of this. Now he's gonna just be like, yeah, I have a vampire smile. Creeping forward, he enters the beast's den. A low growl rumbles from his throat, the growl of a wolf. Vlad intends to fight the wolf unarmed. Despite the logical and likely outcome, a dim, absurd hope ceases inside me that he'll win. The wolf glowers at him, its head shifts at its tenses, its posture ready to attack. Wretched thing, abandon your kin. Prove yourself or perish. It gnashes its teeth, spit glistening. Take the advantage while you can. Snarling, it launches at his throat. There's a metallic flash of Vad There's a metallic flash as Vlad brings his arm to eye level in self-defense. No. The wolf the wolf's jaws clamp near his wrist. Careless. Using himself as a what is words? Using himself as a fulcrum, he spins the wolf against the nearest wall. There's a crack and a whine as it makes contact. Both of them fall to the floor. Limbs tangle, claws scramble, Bravik and fur tear and scatter, growls, huffs, and yelps intermingle. Bones break, blood spurts, breaths in. Only half the heap is moving. Whoever is left lurches along to lie at my feet. Claws scratch the tip of my shoe. Whoever's there could come for me next. I have to get out of here. Kick us apart and run. I am eternal. Vlad rocks from all fours onto his knees, tossing his hair back and opening his arms with a flourish. Looks about like a gladiator desperate for the Colosseum's approval. That's right. This was all a performance. Eerily as my eyes make their final adjustments to the darkness, I can see his mouth is covered in blood. There are no knives in his hands, but his sharp nails are stained to the beds. Something is deeply wrong with him. It's compelling, it's frightening. I don't know. I think I'd be impressed. It's compelling. Lowering onto one knee, I send a hand onto his jaw. He leans into the gesture. Shame crosses his face with the slightest instinctual moment. He conceals it with a prideful smile. Unseemly. None of your princes would do such a thing. Do I seem like a good British subject? Well chosen by your firm to serve me. There it is, what I hoped for. Approval, validation, warm regard. I am good at my job. Not the job I signed on to do. After how hard I fought to escape a life of obedience, I should have a visceral reaction against this. I should also be disgusted by the blood, the brutality, the needlessness of this whole display. Instead of an apex predator, he reminds me of a deer covered in antler velvet, desperate for affection, frightened by the nature of his own existence. Can't be mad at him. Nobody has ever wanted my approval like he does now. There's only one way I can reply. Do you need any help with the body? No. Follow the breeze to the exit. I dare say it'll be easier than the ledge we came in from. If he says so. I stand upright and listen to the whistle of the wind. There's a rustle and a scrape as he collects the dead wolf. On our way out, it drags along the stone. He holds it with none of the care he held me. Indeed, he shows utter disregard. The other exit worms around the interior of the mountain until it spits us out into the east face. Gentle bit of mountaineering puts us on a track. Soon we're at a tree-speckled plateau where we started. With an exaggerated grunt, Vlad drops the dead wolf at the foot of the least sickly tree. I'll fetch Ileana. Now there's moonlight. It's clear the wolf wasn't the best of its species. Elderly, barely bigger than a dog, with visible ribs and bald patches. Winning a straight fight against any wolf was impressive. I needn't have worried Vlad would lose outright, though. This creature would have survived, but it couldn't have killed him. Vlad will never yield. Vlad and Dis, Ileana, and Ceres, and solitary Robigo appeared within 10 minutes. Blow the body on Ceres? If she will allow. She doesn't shy away from it, evidently used to this sort of cargo, though some stress shows in her ears and pupils. Home. Nobody objects to that either. Clambering onto Robigo, I follow the others down the mountain. A chorus of voices echo through the canyon. I want to talk about how beautiful this art is, too. It really sets the vibe of the entire game. Even like the smallest sex to the UI as well. Chorus of voices echo through the canyon. In the time I've been here, I've heard nobody but Vlad and his three brides. There must be a triple that number of people. I drift optimistically towards Ileana. Did you hear that? Merchants and cleaners. We never travel to town. I'm popular with them there. I said it's brought to us. Men who do repairs on the gates, women who will change linen, all that. The many services rich will not do for themselves. They are untasteful, beneath us. Strange, considering what we will do. She lurches ahead and leaves me to think. The castle rapidly grows closer. There are lights in the courtyard that haven't been in use the past 2 nights. The glow rises above the outer wall. It's good to know I'm not alone with the family now. Something about safety in numbers. Not that the family means any harm. Rich eccentrics, that's it. Like most clients. Corrupted by wealth, but not damned. I watch Vlad cantering at the lead. There he goes through the gates back into his dominion. Not long after I follow. 3 times as many was a massive understatement. 30 people at minimum have brought almost a dozen vehicles into the yard. A long bonneted cabriolet, a horse-drawn carriage, a small truck, a motorbike. Some of the people chat in the stables as they feed their horses. Some offload cargo onto the flat section of paved-stones. Some simply loiter uncomfortable steps or under eaves. Theodora and Cez are both present, deep in conversation with an imposing woman by the truck. Over the following seconds, everyone in the courtyard realizes Vlad has returned. The visitors are quicker to stop what they're doing than the brides. Cez tries to continue her discussion with this woman until Theodora shakes both their shoulders in exasperation. Greetings all. Welcome once again to Castle Dracula. Vlad opens his arms to the crowd. As ever, shelter in our courtyard and gatehouse as long as you need. Provided you have brought the customary sacrifice, you will enjoy your customary treatment. Now I must continue inside and help Master Renfield to bed. Bed already? It's much earlier than previous nights. Vlad urges Dis to the stables. I follow, ignoring a pair of eyes in the crowd that refuse to disengage from us. Cez is not pleased that we're back. A few visitors cut through the foyer into the doors on either side of us, as Vlad and I pause at its center. The wolf has not accompanied us inside. Aliana was tasked with taking it to Theodora and Cez's conversational partner, one Nicoletta Popscu, to be skinned. Despite the fact it's busier in here than it was yesterday, the difference between inside and outside is striking. It feels almost peaceful. I stifle a hypocritical yawn as I ask, "Bed now? Really?" The lad chuckles. "Sleep or don't, that's your choice, but I insist you return to your room." "Why?" "We'll be having a party of sorts with our guests. The sacrifice I mentioned in my address will occur here." "Swear there. I fear they or the behavior will offend your English sensibilities." He thinks I'm too delicate for a Romanian party. After what we just did together, he should know better. He's offended. Pardon? Say nothing of the fact that barely any of them other than the brides, Miss Popsky and myself, can speak English. How about German? Roger, leave it. Bottom is, you're not welcome. So I shine with genuine stress. Is it from shame? Seems almost embarrassed by whatever this event is. It's not about my sensibilities, it's about how he appears to me. The risk of it leaving a bad impression. Aww. Then, even if it wounds my pride, I'd better agree to stay in my tower. Can't risk offending the prince. May I have dinner first? What will be brought to you? Large cluster of people passed to our left and headed for the grounded floor corridor. Theodora says and a pair of visitors. Visitor, a young man, follows at Theodora's heels, while second, a girl in her late teens, leans heavily on Cez's side. Vlad's attention turns to them. Tonight's guest of honor? Yes. You never guess where they've driven from. Cez keeps walking as losing momentum will stop the girl entirely. Driven and sailed and walked. Theodora's companion is an Englishman. that a Cornish accent? My word, a Londoner in these parts. Work trip? Yourself? My sister, she's sick. His enthusiasm disappears in an instant. Looking over his shoulder, he watches Says take the girl through the corridor. Miss Popsky said you could give us a miracle. Miracles are for the faithful. Have faith in our power, good sir, or forfeit the rights to its work. His heart catches in his throat. His eyes, well, the man wants, like nothing else, to believe in bad. Is he trustworthy? Small. We're just gonna go with it. Peer at him. He stands like a saint with his palms outturned in a resolute expression. This is how he wants to be seen. Come along now. Theodore takes the Englishman by the shoulders and walks him to the side of the hall. See you at the ritual, friend. Evening. Vlad said I wasn't allowed at the ritual. What happened to it offending English sensibilities? Time for bed, Roger. Like, no. Looping an arm around my back, he guides me towards the stairs. As we reach them, I realize the man and the girl were taking opposite directions. I try to stop at the foot of the stairs, turn, confront Vlad. His arms slide lower around my waist where he has better leverage. He forces us both onward. When I try to open my mouth, I can't even manage that. With pressure all over, hundreds of phantom fingers in addition to the real hand on my back that'll hold my jaws together and keep me marching. Is it because I know the conversation's done? Or is it this part of the power of his that followers speak of so reverently? Where am I at here? Boldness and danger. I wonder which is which. Why is this moon too? What does this mean? Alone in my room, I watch the sky settle on its darkest shade for the night, black like the underside of thick Arctic sea ice. Theodora brings dinner as promised. Moussaka with additional vegetables on the side. It's perfect, unlike her baking, moist yet firm. Half an hour later, Miss Popskew arrives to collect the plate in return for a tree tray. Evening. Staying put like you were told? Finally made it clear I wasn't invited to the party. Good. How about you alive down there? She scoops the plate from the desk and sits the tea on the tray down. Not you, though? Has not happened yet. Being eaten down there. Well, it has not happened in a dangerous way. She laughs over to the stairwell. Wait. You not trouble that brain with thoughts it is not meant to know. Enjoy your cake and enjoy your peace. Close the door with a solid thunk. I drink the tea, a type of chamomile, and I eat mercilessly a small square of dry meal fully. When I finish both courses, I get out my writing set to try to put pen to paper. The caravan is a great opportunity to write to the London office. Send some word that everything's fine. Let Jonathan know I'll be okay. My hand hovers an inch above the page until the ink seeps out and leaves a great black splotch. It's simple. Dead simple. A child could do it. When I was a teenager in the war, I did this without a second thought. Father, I've arrived at Uncle Toby's Huh? Hmm? A party? Tower is quite far from the rest of the castle, though. Ignore it. Write your letter. All well. Simple words any child could write. Move the damn pen, Roger. All well. Oh, Jesus Christ. Uh. Okay. Oh, shoot. Thanks, ads, with your immaculate timing. Let me see. I did my time not want to listen to the deer. What deer rap? Wait, what? That sounds so cursed. Well, thank you for stopping by. I've been enjoying the game. It was listening. Yeah, the games are really fun. I'm like, when I got the email telling me to check it out, I was like, this is really on brand for me. I love the art, by the way. It really sets me in the mood for this entire game. But anyone who also was an agile and missed that, there was a blood curdling scream that just went on as I'm trying to write a letter saying, "Yeah, everything's fine." Smile. Right below the corridor at the bottom of the stairs, someone is in trouble. I can't abandon them. I'm coming. When I enter the stairwell, I hear panting and footsteps below as we each work towards each other's voices. The stairs seem longer than ever before. I stumble over my own feet in my haste. My counterpart's pace is inconsistent, scraping and stumbling, already exhausted from the trip. This is 100% that girl. Or the guy. We circle around and around. Every circle feels like it could be the last, but the tower plays tricks. Concertines out, hides extra space between the layers somehow. When I think we're truly about to make contact, a third set of footsteps sneak in behind. Whoever's arrived is faultlessly fast and only becomes audible the instant before they tackle their target. Tap, tap, slam. Wait, you know how to read? Rose doesn't watch all my VN streams. Cry. I halt out of sight and press my back against the inner wall. Everything happens so close to me that I can feel it reverberate through the stones. Mm. Oh. Pursuer cracks the runner's head against the wall, dislodging a last gasp from him as he passes out. Oh, this is the Englishman. And then stopping a few steps lower, they take a hold of some part of him, an ankle or a part of a jacket, and drag him back downstairs, his body juddering until it hits the bottom. The hallway is carpeted. There's a brief hiss of rug burn, and then noise is absorbed into the upholstery. Here I am by myself in the tower. No one will hurt me if I stay in the tower. Decent guests will remain in the tower, but against any semblance of good judgment, I follow them. Let's see what I'm being kept from. I like the music too. The closer I get to the center of the castle, the cluster of public rooms by the foyer, the eerier the quiet becomes. There's supposed to be a party tonight. Where are the noises? Why have I heard nothing but that man's scream? Passing by the window, I catch a glimpse of the courtyard, dimly lit by the caravan's lamps. Biased opinion, lol, but I think our composer did a good job. Again, it fits the vibe very well. Passing by a window, I catch a glimpse of the courtyard, dimly lit by the caravan's lamps. Initially, I don't think much of it. The people are coming and going from their vehicles to their accommodation in the gatehouse. They collect suitcases and groceries to bring inside. Then I realize almost everyone is accounted for in the courtyard. They're excited like students at school camp, but not celebratory. The only people who could be inside are Vlad, the brides, and at best a handful of visitors. That isn't much of a party. What the hell is happening tonight? The exit is closed, the great hall is open, the chandelier casts a beam of light through the double doors, a tall mass of shadows at its center. There are only 5 people inside. It's not until I'm at the doors, enveloped in the light and the shadow, that I can confirm who they are. Though I know. In an irrational part of my gut, the part that hungers ceaselessly for self-preservation, I have always known. It's not a normal business trip. These are not normal clients. Is it our our dateable people? He stands in the middle of the cluster, the girl's body slumped in his arms. Oh, I like that effect. Okay, that is definitely the girl that they saw earlier. That guy got smoked. He stands in the middle of the cluster, the girl's body slumped in his arms. The brides flank him clutching a shoulder or thigh each. Oh, it's all of them. I'm sure he's fine. He's just sleeping. He's a little eepy guy. Theodora remains concentrated on her meal. Says adjusts the shoulders to hide behind it. Ileana spits as she makes eye contact. All of them are biting the girl. Dracula her jugular, Theodora says her wrists. Ileana is torn through the thick veins on her leg. They see me, I stare, but none of them can wrest themselves from their prey. Even Dracula, proud and regal, let his composure lose out to his thirst. I'm locked in place too. From fear. There's too much wrong in this building to be wholly surprised, but knowing there's a wolf in the woods doesn't prepare you to face it. Rather than let this awful moment continue, I open my mouth to ask the stupidest question I've ever thought of. Is she okay? Like a dog caught with a chicken from the coop, Dracula blinks slowly, his pupils focusing, and his jaws unclamping from her neck. His goatee is dyed a solid red with her blood. There's a moment of wordless trembling before his mouth is able to form words. Renfield, pet, no. She's dead. Then I find a way to make it worse. Why? 'Cause the house has needs. And the master must provide. Releasing his grip on her torso, he drops her into the bride's arms where they're able to bite and gnaw even more ferociously. Compared to them, his animalism is restrained. They have focus and shame and spite, but nothing else. No instinct to stop before the wells run dry. He realizes he won't have my attention while the body and the bride are in view. Rather than step around them, he dissipates into the pitch black smoke and surges through the group, coalescing in front of me. Oh hi, hello. For a moment he reforms, his eyes have that awful hollow look again and his features are contorted. He extends a hand to me. Not to worry. Your fate will be different. Zam. Hope you enjoyed this haha taste. I see what you did there. Thank you for playing. I have already wished. Oh, yeah, you can click on it. That's neat. I kind of like Dracula, actually. I saw some of like the romantic options, and I'm like, he wasn't my fourth choice, but I kind of like that like taste of that route. Alright, we have probably time for one more route real quick if they're about that long. We haven't done like the bathroom one. To save my voice, I'm taking a moment to sip on some water. And we will get to the next option where we were. Oh wait, what? Skip to new possibilities, continue as usual. Yes, the bathroom girl. I wanted to see the bathroom girls. Okay. Uh let's do continue. New game plus? There's a new game plus? Okay. Hmm. Alright, we'll start from the beginning and we'll do the option to skip is for convenience. Okay. We will prove the bathroom ghost doesn't exist. This is such a it feels like such a random option. Like the other round seemed very serious, and like the whole thing with Dracula felt almost kind of somber too. Let's prove the bathroom ghost doesn't exist. All right. let me take one more sip. Remember to stay hydrated, folks. I'll do this one more route and then we'll probably call it after. Whatever it was that actually happened last night, whether or not he knows more than he lets on, I'm not comfortable with how Dracula pretended not to notice the marks on my neck. Best to keep some distance, finish the documents as quickly as possible, and leave before the situation gets worse. Staying functional means staying clean. Let's take a look at that sink. Toiletry bag in hand, I return downstairs for round two. I'll clean the mirror and there will be nothing here. Then I'll shave. We'll be fine. The bathroom is identical to the night before. The steam's dispersed but the mirror is clouded with dust. Sure enough, when I wipe the largest section clear, there's nothing but me inside. Sorry stubbly face. Time to fix that. I refill the sink, carefully retrieve the razor from the jumble, and set about shaving. I'm less precise than usual. Still terrified there will suddenly be someone behind me. Or worse, a bodiless voice filling the room. The third stroke wobbles. Fourth stroke, I slip harmlessly. Fifth stroke cuts straight into my jaw. I lose hold of the razor, playing on the floor near my shoe. Since the room's nominally out of order, there aren't any towels and I forgot mine. What do I do about the blood? There is a lot of it. Clean up my hand of the wound. It's shallow but prolific. It seeps between my fingers and drips on my collar. Gotta wash it clean. Dunking towards the sink, I scoop both hands to the water to splash it on me. When I stand up straight again, the mirror is brighter. A faint glow emanates through the room. Before I can react, there are hands on my shoulders. Oh, my, what a nasty cut. I've had auditory hallucinations and visual hallucinations, but never anything tactile. Here, let me help. Releasing my right shoulder, they move their hand onto my jaw. Then they lean over and, while I'm too stunned to react, press their mouth to the wound. It's almost a kiss. Finally, they withdraw. The reaction clarifies in the mirror. I see something. A beautiful young man. When our eyes meet amidst the cracks, heal themselves and breathe. Saliva to help it heal. I breathe too. Oh. Like, oh yeah, that happened. He looks at the mirror and his face twinges. It's impossible to tell whether he's focused on my reflection or his own. Hard to know where to go next. Eventually I find some composure and say, who are you? Where did you come from? I didn't need your help. Okay, yeah, this reset. I'm wondering how that affects things later. I'd assume choices. Who are you? I feel like that would be my first reaction to seeing a ghost. Another of the house's pitiful inhabitants. Unlock different choices? Okay. That's not much of an answer. That's all you'll get. I try to turn and face him directly, but he catches my shoulders again and keeps me looking at the mirror. We're not finished, are we? Hmm? I interrupted you last night and again now. If I could please have the razor. Try mine. Before I can react, he slides his grip down my arm to take hold of my wrists and guides my hand to the mirror. Open your fingers. Sure. Question mark. I sway them out and expose my bloody palm. Pushes me forward, so I press it to the center of the cracks. Tiny, powdery bits of glass prickle against my skin. It's uncomfortable. Slowly, a red glow spreads out from the center along each line to the ends, as if the glass is bleeding too. Then, like a cut healing at umpteen times the speed, the crack It's close. Oh, hello? The mirror is a single perfect pane. Let's go with my hand and I lower it to grasp the edge of the sink. Tiny latch is now visible at the edge of the mirror. It clicks it open and swings the surface out, revealing an unindented cabinet space behind. There are 3 items on the middle shelf: a strangely curved comb, a bulky off-white hairpin, and a folding razor with an oversized grip. Just having a safety razor against my face can be unnerving. Is he really going to use this instead? He takes it from the shelf. Yes, he is. As he unfolds it, he closes the cabinet. When we're done, don't forget to take those two. I'm not sure I need you to. He brings the razor close and tilts it around my peripheral vision. I notice the grip has a serrated edge. 7 sharp points of varying size and shape on a grip of dull ivory. He touches it to my skin and I realize what it is. I say nothing. With total grace, he slides the blade over my cheek. Now I can't say anything. What would I say if I could speak? His practiced hands make a short work of the task. This is a man who's done this for as many hours as any barber. When he's done, he folds the blade and presses into my bloody palm. Don't forget the other pieces. What? Maybe next time we meet, we could play a game. Chess, or perhaps billiards. Wait. Yes, let's do billiards. I whip around. He's not there. It's like he was never there. The razor's still in my hand. 7 sharp points along the razor grip. Whereas the grip of the comb, which has similar curve, has 7 holes. Atop the bony body of the hairpin, 9 loose teeth have been strung together to look like flowers, split into 3 discrete pieces. Oh, we got items now. Why does it look like teeth? Lower half of someone's jaw rests on my— Oh! Oh, that's why. Why does it look like teeth? Haha, it is. Well, lower half of someone's jaw rests in my hands. Bone-handled jawbone specifically. A man's face so close to my neck should be exciting, but given the circumstance— Oh boy! I thought they meant like teeth as in like a freaking— like any comb— not a comb, like a hair clip. Like, oh yes, teeth hair clip, huh? No, it actually meant teeth. Also, this is a very it's a very fruity description. A a man's face so close to my neck should be exciting, but given the circumstances, not really. I like him. After a strange encounter, I desperately need normalcy. He's gonna pour a drink. Retreating to my bedroom, I slam the next section of my documents on the table and bury my head in the driest details on offer. Calculate sales taxes, I cross-reference details about extension permits, I note depths of water lines, anything to stop me thinking about the pieces of human jawbone I stuffed at the bottom of my suitcase. I will absolutely not think about it. I will think about condition reports instead. I drop my pen and open my suitcase. Digging through it, I find the pieces of jawbone. Someone has engraved the razor piece with a floral motif. The teeth have been plucked from the grip of the comb, looped into makeshift daisies to decorate the top of the hairpin. The more I look at it, the more disgusted I become. It's not right, desecrating someone's body parts like this. Got to dismantle them. There aren't any scissors or pliers or pry tools in my bag, but I bet I can find some around the room. Did us check the wardrobe, check the nightstand. Probably check the desk. Drawers of the desk seem empty, but the compartments look shallower than the exterior. Feel around the edges of the top drawer and find an unsuitable false bottom. An unsubtle false bomb. What are words? Beneath it is a selection of leather journals along with some loose papers and a stationery set, all in Romanian. It's impossible to read anything but the unsealed letters are signed with. M. M for what? Oh, we got multiple choices. Okay, we can check the nightstand now. The nightstand is already full with all the useful items you'd expect. Matches, candles, a torch, even a set of pliers, in a box with odds and ends of hardware, nails and screws and wood glue. Tucked in the rear corner is what looks like an antique spruce talking board. A worn planchette on brass casters sits upturned on top. Instead of the Latin alphabet, there are 72 unfamiliar symbols inscribed on the board. Phony, crude, mass market spiritualism, but the belief of others can be a threat of their own. You found Dracula's Ouija board? I'm like, wait, this is a Ouija board. It's a creepy discovery regardless of whether it has any power. Assemble the draw tools. Can we check the wardrobe first? The wardrobe is half empty, but there's enough space to put my clothes. But the other half is taken up by an assortment of suits and outerwear, with shoes in a row along the bottom. The drawers are the same, empty on the left, squished full of undergarments on the right. Nothing is modern, but it ranges from a few decades old to several centuries. While I'm sorting through, I find something hard in the pocket of the most recent suit. It's a utility knife. Luckily, it's just jewelry wire holding the teeth together, so it cuts easily. Whatever securing the blade and comb, the jawbone grips have gotten brittle. Those pry apart fine. So I've wiped the edges clean of glue residue. Ah! The loose pieces judder across the floor in front of me, trembling autonomously over the boards. Like there's a weak magnetism between them. The teeth roll toward jaw pieces shark towards each other. Teeth rattle into the sockets. Is that like the ghost bones? The sides twist and flip until they flank the front section. There's a hiss like a sword being quenched as they fuse back together. It's a complete lower jaw now. I have a million questions about why there was a disembodied jaw hidden in the bathroom. And almost as many about the belongings left around the bedroom. What happened to the former occupants? Well, he's back to one man. I wonder if he's still in the parlor. Ah, Master Renfield, I was about to turn in for the night. Did you receive my note? I'm here to work, so I chose to work. But you made it in the end. Wonderful. Obviously, we were well past tea time, but perhaps some brandy or a cigar? I'm not a smoker, and a drink would help a lot, but the billiard table has caught my eye. The man in the bathroom mentioned liking billiards. I've never played. Should be an opportunity to learn. How about... There's a noise at the door. Got the smokes? Oh. Personally, I'm keen for a cigar. Come in. The stylish woman from last night enters. Well-heeled and well-dressed as any shopper I'd seen in Goddam, all dolled up, only she has nowhere to go. She scowls at me. I feel like I'm back in secondary school. She presses a cigar box into Dracula's hands, but before she separates from him, she takes one out and lights it for herself. She blows the smoke in my face. Kinda like her. Never got a proper introduction. That's her own fault. Zam. Master Renfield, this is Cereza, one of my brides. Cesara. Apparently I cannot read. My bad. Says is fine. As lady of the house, you're owed a certain amount of respect from the help. Yeah, I know. You're my bride. To be fair, almost none of the names are in English. I'll catch on. Yeah, your middle bride. Damn. She's so pissed. If you're not going to be polite, go somewhere else. Jeez! Okay. She pushes past towards the door, trailing smoke. Okay. Oh, okay, wait. There we go. As she reaches the frame, she leads an arm on it and turns back to look at me. Hope last night didn't scare you too much. With a toss of her hair and a flick of ash, she leaves the room. I keep meaning to put out a pronunciation guide. Yeah, that would help actually. There is definitely a lot of names in here that are foreign. With a toss of her hair and a flick of ash, she leaves the room. Her attitude is an acquired taste, if he says so. A cigar, Master Renfield? No, thank you. What can I offer then? How about some brandy, a game of billiards? Excellent idea. What rules? I haven't played enough to know the difference. We'll play 8-ball then. He sets the table. Medora shots to find out who's playing first. Unsurprisingly, he gets it. Why come down after avoiding me all night? I wasn't avoiding you. Like I said, I was working. Work is an excellent way to avoid someone. Hope you had fun working. He breaks. It's a good shot. How's it going then? On track? Got everything you need? Oh yes, plenty. I take some shots. You take some shots. He's better than me. I appreciate the refresher on the rules though. About my room. What about it? Is that your stuff in the drawers? It's our lost and found. Past visitors. I was gonna compliment you on the jackets. Oh well. Not half bad, but not my size. Were they all left by the same guests? He glares as he pockets another ball. I smile blithely and manage to pocket two. Be careful around the castle. I'm always careful. Or, you know. Pocketing his last ball, he wins the game. Damn it. Thank you for the entertainment. And thank you for the advice. Good night, Prince Dracula. Good night, Master Renfield. Take the cue from him and stand with it for a moment, sizing him up. Then I put both of them in the rack and exit. It was good to get some practice, and a better sense of the situation. Why doesn't he want to talk about the past guests in the tower? What happened to them? To him? No doubt for a second Dracula's warning is genuine. I have to be careful I don't want to be disassembled and used for parts myself. Settling on the blankets, I stare up at the canopy. There's a constant draft in the tower. The chiffon curtains drift in and out of the bed and breathe with the air current's weak, unceasing motion, like pale sheets of snow. There are no curtains in the bathroom. For anyone to see anything, both parties would have to stand in the precise locations, one on the neighboring rooftop against the window, which meant the landlord never saw the need to add any. Nevertheless, it's comforting to look out and know the world can look in. Snow falls over Berlin. Typical February weather. But it's light and the radio babbles from the hall as I lie in my bath. The signal steady, for the moment. From where I'm lying, I can see the hazy mid skyline. Snow comes down, boilers vent up. Everyone struggles to stay warm. Surrounded by hot water and bubbles, I breathe slowly and appreciate being home. Tomorrow I'll be in Romania. Berlin has been totally hostile to me. Last year's election, any sensible person would be terrified. But there's not a nation in Europe that'd treat me, in all facets, as I wish to be treated. Nowhere is good, just better or worse. Which will Romania be? I sweep the water over my chest, tracing half-healed scars, and try to forget the world as I— Wait a second, he is trans! That's what he meant, okay. I had to, like, put on, like, what is the word? Like, the dial-up. There was a dial-up like thinking there was like a dial-up moment on the last Routes dialogue that talked about moving to Germany and all that. Oh, what? I cannot remember. Oh, wait. This would be in World War I, right? I'm forgetting what exact year this is. But Germany was like one of the initial people that 1931. Okay. Yeah, Germany was very big on the movement, I guess, way back then. Okay. There, I guess there's my extra context. Home is these walls. Central steam heating, green glass ceramic tiles, a porcelain sink, fog windows, long narrow corridors, tight rooms with parquet floors, electric lamps and fridge, and a stove. The safe haven of a made man. I am a made man. I made it to safety. Tomorrow I'll leave my building, survive another week, and make it home by the end. Now the view is almost all white. This must be record snowfall. Unsurprisingly, the signal fades to gentle static and radio broadcast stops. I don't like the ambience, and the water is cooling. Between the drifts, there's a burst of blue light. A meteor shower? I wish it were a clear night. I would have liked to see. Is it visible from outside? Ubi radio. Apologies for the interruption. We will now be resuming our radio broadcast. Stay right where you are and settle in for a classic. Blitz Mephisto Polka. A sight is a perfect pale void. The radio returns. Piano piece that buzzes along at an annoying frequency. It's meant to be a jazz hour. How'd it reconnect? The bath has gone cold. If I get out, I can turn the radio off. Take a look at the lights from my balcony. When I try to stand, my legs won't move. The water clings like glue. Despite how long I've been in the tub, the bubbles haven't popped. In fact, weren't they waist high before? How did they reach my chest height? Can't lift my arms either. I lie limp in the too heavy water, unable to move as the bubbles rise. I'm not drowning here. Can't find me like this. Imagine the headlines. I don't want to imagine the headlines. Tensing every molecule of myself, I explode upward. Lurch onto the tiles, gasping for air. Catch the sink for balance. No splash. No wet handprint on the porcelain. No damp sole on the bath mat. Bread-shaped lies amidst the bubbles and the water. Its lower jaw has been torn off, and its eyes are gone. Below the waterline, I catch glimpses of an empty chest and incomplete arms. The short black hair and narrow waist. That's me, isn't it? I'm the radio plays static. I step through the hall to silence it. Too tall, too dry, too dignified. I am a pearl, and the world is my oyster. There's no hallway, no radio, white noise and darkness. A breeze comes through. The darkness broadens as my borrowed eyes adjust. The shades separate till I can see the night above and the forest all around. Great wing beats pound through the air overhead. As I pass by the rain soot and ash, larger objects fall in its wake. Antique pages with torn edges. Catch one as it slips by my face. A woodcut illustration of someone in a silhouette surrounded by people bent in supplication. Hmm. Beneath the illustration is the title, Cantemir. When I lower the page, the scene has changed. A throne room, Eastern style, with an upholstered couch. Set on the throne is a translucent figure who leans forward for a closer look at me. Regard each other. Slowly, the figure extends an arm. They roll their wrists and gesture for me to exit. I shy towards the door. The Sultan wills it, so it shall be. On the left side is a plain stone chamber from an entirely different country, era, reign. Opposite the throne room is a heavy metal door secured with bars, deadbolts, and massive locks. Through a narrow slit in the door, I see sunlight. Something shifts into place behind the slit. One by one, a series of Char's fingers stick through. Oh, that's a cool effect with the text. Please. Leave. Now. The occupant drags their face to the bars. Amidst the melted flesh is a pair of sharp green eyes. Nobody wants me here. How do I escape? Where is home? Fleeing along the stone corridor, I make it back outside into a courtyard. It's snowing. Meteoric light flash in the sky. We still Ranfield is still naked. I would hope not. It's cold. It's snow, bro. It's cold. I feel like if I'm being haunted or something, I would have to throw on some clothes, especially if it's cold. I don't want to freeze. Throw from the atmosphere to the land in the mountains beyond. The gates are open. I run for the hills. Amidst the peaks of the perfect pale void, stumbling through the blinks and drifts to keep focus on the dim aura ahead, that blue glow behind the white. Snow deepens. Knees, hips, waist, chest. I am consumed by the cold. A hand reaches for mine, pulls me from the snow. I'm carried, half conscious, to the edge of a large box. Dripped unceremoniously into a frigid concrete bath. Might as well be a fridge, I guess. While I sputter and shiver and shake, a grate slides across the top, trapping me inside. Oh. My rescuer straddles the box and peers through the grate. Leaving so soon? Hi, Drac. Dracula straddles the box. No? Good. Abandonment is the cruelest kind of treachery. Reaching out, reaching out of a sight, reaching out of sight, he takes hold of something. Why not stay forever? A bright silver knife. We have forever, don't we? The smile he wears doesn't reach his eyes. The knife lingers in the space between us. When we move, get out! The world ends. In the morning, the relative morning, I'm the wrong 6 o'clock. The wrong 6 o'clock, I like that. I'm awoken by the sound of traffic. Staring to the window, I see a convoy of horses, riders, carts, and carriages clatter into the courtyard at the front of the castle. Tower is angled over a ravine, but peering to the side, some of the path is visible. There's a smell to investigate too. Another delicious breakfast. Today is a kind of frittata with tomato relish. Whatever happens on this trip, at least I'll have a good final meal. I sit down to eat and resolve to visit the courtyard after. So, well, I guess it seems like all the routes are gonna have the party part or something along those lines. Several dozen people are here. At the edge of the courtyard, I see some of them opening stable doors and feeding their horses. People are muttering, gossiping, conspiring all about, in all sorts of languages: Hungarian, Russian, Greek, Turkish, German. The short bride, Theodora, converses with the woman in Romanian. High above the battlements, the ragged bride, Ileana, watches like a gargoyle. There's no sign of Dracula, it says. Excited to meet new, less hostile people, I cross the courtyard to join Theodora's conversation. Party happens every time, a little different depending on the route. Good evening. They both fall silent as they turn to face me. Theodora considers her words carefully. Good evening, Master Renfield. Buna. The Englishman? The Englishman. My reputation precedes me. What brings you and yours to the castle? Castile? Nimit. We trade. Many like to trade with the prince or his princesses. She flashes a long look at Theodora. She anxiously tries to ignore her. You have some countrymen here. Why not talk to them? From England? Paying closer attention to the medley of languages, I hear a Cornish accent near the flashiest car. Shh, just it's okay. He'll be here to help soon. Man comforting someone hidden in the back seat. As I approach, he rapidly evaluates my clothes. See? The Lord sent a concierge. Huh? Sorry, just a lawyer. A lawyer? Selling Dracula properly. Hurts. A girl in her late teens jolts straight in the seat. It hurts. She's emaciated and covered in sweat. Her hair a mess over her face. Not long, not long, not long. A trio of nearby visitors shuffle uncomfortably at the girls crying. I'm uncomfortable too. I don't want to ask anything inane like, is she okay? Obviously. Is that a reference to the other route? Obviously not, but I don't know how to help either. Not acknowledging her seems worst of all. You're here to visit Prince Dracula, miss? She whines, neither affirmative nor negative. You think you can save her? Is that his grift then? Faith healing? The Rasputin routine? It's all a ripoff as far as I'm concerned, but if they're this desperate, it seems cruel to say so. Hmm. I mean, there is something about him. But these guys are gonna get smoked. Frankly, I think even given the runner. I mean, yeah, there is something special about him. Frankly, I think you've been given the runaround. Nobody should have their hope exploited like this. Vultures positioning someone so they'll die where they can be fed on, profiting from an inevitable death. It's cruel to him, it's cruel to his sister. Both of them deserve the truth and a peaceful end. Not this desperation. How could you? His voice catches in his throat. The best part is that he doesn't want to hear it. This is between us and the prince, anyway, and miracles are for believers. It hurts. I tried. I hate to say it, but why does the Englishman look kind of like Mr. Bean? It kind of looks like Mr. Bean in a way. We'll never guess who he's based on? Wait, hold on. Wait, who is he based on? Now I'm curious. Miss Is it? Is it really? Oh my god. That's amazing. I'm like, wow, he looks like Mr. Bean! Well. Before her screaming can scare everyone from the courtyard, a new figure arrives. Says steps from the castle. The crowd falls silent around her as she crosses to the car. She draws a small, clear bottle from the pocket of her coat and presses it into the Englishman's hand. For her pain. The Englishman accepts wordlessly. Please. He turns to his sister and corks the bottle and tips the contents into her mouth. Like a child, she panics, almost spits it out, swallows with a sour expression. Within moments, she relaxes, her eyes flutter closed, flies across the black sea of the car, breathing slowly. Says relaxes too. You're here to meet the prince? Yes, are you... Come inside, we'll find somewhere for her to rest, and you can have a meal. Too kind, too kind. It would be cruel not to offer. The Englishman takes his sister from the car and proceeds inside. Says doesn't move. She regards Theodora coldly. Theodora isn't flinching though. The supplier she's talking to becomes anxious. Then looks at me. Then she shifts to look at me. At last she leaves. The courtyard remains silent. But not for long. Theodora and her supplier move alongside me. Have you seen her smile? No. Should I have? 20 years, not a smile. Everyone is afraid of her. Now, Nico, she's just troubled. Troubled? Yes, she is troubled. She troubled you yet, Englishman. I draw a sharp breath. I'm quite rude. I don't have any complaints about her. I mean... I mean... I don't have any complaints. She seems perfectly pleasant. Uh, the Tate got him. What? Nico. Yes, that's what he likes. I don't know what Tate are to figure out her meaning. I never had the slightest bit of interest in... She doesn't even... I don't like women. That's what he was about to say. Show some respect. Respect, appreciation is what a lady needs. Dracula doesn't appreciate them. He's a good husband. I'm not gonna pretend I know what that means or how to pronounce it. Theodore avoids her searching gaze. She was awfully like, "You're lying." Yeah, once again, pride flag emoji at that pride flag emoji. Master Renfield, you have work to do. Go and do your work. Excuse me? Proceed inside, return to your tower, ignore these vagrants. Ignore these vagrants! And for your own sake, ignore your curiosity tonight too. Her iron will bends for a moment. There's a glimpse of concern behind it. Very well. Godspeed. Keep your head, Englishman. Like Theodora suggested, I go inside. Before I can make it further into the castle, intercepted by the man himself. Quite a crowd today. Not going to greet them yourself? The brides take care of it. They certainly do. Back to work? Yes. Nice to see visitors, but they got their jobs and I've got mine. Later tonight. Hmm? We entertain some of the guests in the Great Hall, and it can get rowdy. Tower should be far enough away that it doesn't bother you, but ignore the commotion? Of course. You'll be brought your dinner like usual. Have a pleasant evening, Master Renfield. And yourself, Prince Dracula. He sweeps off along one of the many unmapped corridors. Despite what I told him, I'd like to take a look around the house before I return upstairs. I got a lot done yesterday, avoiding the family, so there's not much time pressure. So not as much time pressure, and avoiding the family meant I saw barely any of the house. It's time for a couple of tasks. And where to start? For the biggest, most impressive room, look for the outdoor areas, look for the ground floor, where they took the Englishman. Oh. I'm not trying to die. So the last one probably not. I feel like if I were like searching this myself, I would probably look for the biggest room or the library, which also can be the biggest room. I wander around a bit and find all sorts of places: dining rooms, guest halls, a drawing room, a dance hall. Then I hit the jackpot. A light. Damn, I'm good. A library spread over multiple rooms and levels with thousands, tens of thousands of books inside. This is incredible. Naturally, I gravitate toward the law section, which is jammed between spirituality and healthcare. Everything is properly cataloged like a real library. Exciting. This would be neat. Pulling out a book on Romanian common law, I stopped to read it. Interesting, interesting. I'd never considered that. Hmm? Oh, what a good idea. Do you think Dracula uses the Dewey Decimal System? Hmm. I actually don't know. Is the Dewey Decimal System like a global thing, or do different libraries have a different way of cataloging things? Hmm. Yes. Hey. Ah. I slammed the book shut. Jumpy. I thought I was alone. I thought, oh, you're done with that man and his sister? Have they calmed down? Oh, I was, I thought it was says for a second, so that was a little bit. They're resting. Looks as though she could use rest herself. There's no shine in her eyes, just flat, matte exhaustion. I probably shouldn't ask. She's probably the only one who will answer truthfully. Would Dracula really heal people? She flinches. Not really. Just a good job of faking it. If it's fakery, why does any of the caravan come back? Eh, there's other deals he can do. They ask us for favors, he fulfills them. How feudal. Yeah. A feudal lord in the wrong century. Settling into the conversation, she slapped his back against the shelves. How he and Turador like it. What were you gossiping about with her and her stupid girlfriend? Damn. Cess has been honest with me. Best to return the courtesy. You, of course. Of course. She folds her arms over her chest. Someone's gotta run people away before they get eaten. Those two think it's fine to be a predatory business as long as it's a family business. I'm getting closer to the truth of this place. Better press the advantage. Predatory? How? The castle tears people apart. It's still just a job you. It's still just a job to you. You think you'll go home in a few days, same as any other assignment, same as ever. Merely, it is a creepier assignment than usual. Once he's got you inside his castle, though, you're like a fly in a web, and he's a spider. And above him are the birds and the cats and a million higher orders of animal. That's feudalism for you. Try to get people out of the web. But I can't. But when I can't, I try to make being stuck in it painless. Am I in the web? Hmm. She won't answer. That'll be a yes. How can I possibly follow on from that? I'll look back to the legal section and look for the shelf to return my book to. Wait. There are other logbooks, if you're ever interested. She leads me to the opposite corner, a bookcase with a lockable glass front. Everything inside looks unfashionably old and expensive. Some of them are even bound in unrecognizable materials, drained leathers and chittins. The Necronomicon? What is this? An occult section? Oh, I was kidding. I was kidding! I was kidding! Surprised? Oh, Occultic law books. Occultic law books? Would you be interested? Get bored, sure. Might be a bit of fun. May I have the key? It's not locked. The door is there to keep the dust out. Reach for the handle. Then think better of it. Thank you for showing me. She folds her arms and looks away. Not borrowing any. The work upstairs is urgent. For now, maybe. You think that'll change? If we're unlucky. I don't know about you, but I'm always unlucky. I'm not sure how to respond. I give her a little wave. Good evening, says. Pass her the book. And step from the room. She seemed kind of concerned, so maybe she isn't a pain in the butt. Let's go outside. I wander around the lower floors for a while. It turns out even the ground of the castle is uncertain. Each of the floors has steps and sublevels and gradations that make it hard to tell where they begin and end. There are little cliffside overlooks, tiny interior courtyards big enough for a single shrub, balconies leading onto rooftops, seemingly no other real outdoor spaces. Then I saw it through a colonnade. A beautiful garden full of shrubs and flower beds. Seems much too large for where it's placed relative to the rest of the house. In the time I've been wandering, Theodora has left the caravan and come inside. For a given value of inside. She poised over the flowers with cicadas in hand. I actually pronounced that right. Princess Theodora. The loud snick, she clamped the cicadas? I don't have to Google what is that? Shut. Turns to me, her skirt sweeping the flowers aside. I was like, shears? Master Renfield, this is lovely. It must have taken a lot of work to shape those hedges. I didn't shape them, I just maintained them. Oh yeah, like shears. Eh, hedge clippers. Ah, okay. For a lot of maintenance then. Do you enjoy gardening? Keeping the grounds is an important job for the lady of the house. I enjoy making Vlad happy. She's the first person I've heard him call Vlad. You're very devoted. Yes. Cicadas sneak again. Falling in your failing in your household duties is a tiny form of betrayal, but it's easy to do. Many do it every day. Vlad is surrounded by traitors. Drives him to despair, but not I. These tiny forms of constance keep what they can alive in spite of this wicked world. I see. Don't you have your own job to do? I suppose I do. Not a formal goodbye, she crouches by the bush she's been working on, signaling me away. Sure, okay, I'll leave her to it. Much as I'd love to stay and enjoy the garden. On the house. Wandering the halls in vague direction of the tower, a breeze looks lights through their bulbs. Ah. One by one, some phantom's fingertips pinch them out, till the last emitting source of light is a pale emanation through the nearest doorway. A familiar doorway, and I know who's on the other side. Oh. Oh. Sure enough, when I peer through, I see him. Zam. A long-limbed man lounging on the pool table lifts first in an impatient smile. The bathroom ghost. There he is, the bathroom ghost. Damn, that guy, this ghost can haunt my bathroom anytime they want. He swings his leg over the ledge as he turns to face me. Evening. You weren't kidding about billiards. Bro is all like stanced up in the paint me like one of your French girl poses. Gesturing at the cues, his smile takes on some more. Ready to play? He's the only thing on the felt. Where are the billiards? If I kept you waiting, you could have set the table. I barely know how to do it. Alas, I'm stricken with the tragic touch impairment. Unfortunate. Damn, we gotta fix that then. That seemed like a problem last night. There are brains and nerves inside you. Wave! Huh? Why do you look smug? Ah. Zam. The rapping to you again. The table has none of that. However I pose upon it, it will never pay me any mind. That was like I had to take a moment, like, oh, oh, oh. What are you implying? He stressed the point he stresses himself out, drawing his trousers tight. I clear my throat and focus on the cues. Yes, thank you for the reminder. Your hallucination. I'm losing it from the stress and thirst. Man, I love men. Poor Drifter lost the desert, wondering if the oasis is nothing but a mirage. Don't look at him. In the tower, I must have realized someone used to live there and started to imagine who he was, where he went. I'm losing my mind, and I'm hallucinating handsome ghostman. Now I'm having a conversation with myself to decide how worried I should be that I'll meet a similar fate. We're leaving out the you might be horny part, Renfield. Dismembered and stashed in a series of undignified hidey holes. Speaking of which, how do you think to check the mirror if it was your own idea? The cracks got my attention. Why billiards now? I glanced at him by accident. It's a real... He winks at me. Man's game. I avert my eyes. Oh, he knows. One last question. Am I who do you dream of if you could dream of anyone? Not if he keeps heckling me like this. Let's just play. Question he couldn't answer. Now lastly, hops from the table full of fresh energy. Alright, preparing the game. Think hard. What do we need? Fetch the rack from the wall to start with. Settling it on a mark, I scoop the balls from the pockets and add them to the triangle in a random order. The ghost laughs, hiding his mouth behind his hand for discretion even though he's too loud to ignore. What? That's not how it goes. Oh. Put a stripe in one lower corner and a solid in the other, and the 8-ball in the middle. I follow his directions. I actually don't know how to play billiards either. So I would probably fuck it up like that too. Now I'm paying attention, checking the numbers and designs. I can't help but notice. The 8-ball and the cue ball are lighter than the rest. Not quite hollow, but definitely not quite solid. Full of something lower density than the resin exterior. Curious. So if we set the table, I'll have first turn. Isn't that convenient for him? I move the rack and set it back on the wall. Everything is ready, except for the second player. I thumb at the cue holder. Don't you need something? But you're right there. Be a sport and... If you're a ghost and not a hallucination, you can get your own cue. Levitator or something. This is his house. I'm just living in it. Living. Poor choice of words. The, the point remains. Everything here is Dracula's. Without his permission or an offer from his representative, I can't touch any of it. Convenient. No, inconvenient. But beyond your wildest imagination. Offer him a cue. I'll be nice. I'll be nice. I left the cue from the I left the cue from the holder and offer it over the table. I can be evil, lady. Ghost accepts with the bow of his head. According to him, he should be first. Take my own cue from the rack and turn it in my hands as he adjusts the placement of the cue ball. Ghost inhales out of habit or a sense of showmanship. Crack. He shoots the middle of the wall. He shoots the middle of a wall of the triangle. The ball ricochets everywhere. The game is afoot. You alternate turns, sinking some shots, missing others. He's confident, taking aim at risky targets, almost pocketing some of my stripes. It's methodical. I don't have the experience not to be. Though it's scary that 5 turns in he's on 3 and I'm on 1. How is the sale proceeding? Pardon? I almost misfire. A ghost talking interest in the literal business of the living. It's a shockingly mundane question. The sale papers for Carifax. Why? Just making conversation. And keep steady. I had a job once. Ordinary duties, ordinary concerns, ordinary physiology. Sure, what were you? Someone's muse? A movie star? Salesman. Who knocked on the wrong door? What did you sell? This and that. He puts the cue behind his back and fires a trick shot at the 4-ball. It misses, but nudges the 6 closer to a corner pocket. Talking boards and plachettes, maybe? Heh. The family's black market black magic dealer. Not what I call ordinary. There are stock takes, delivery, logistics, and taxes like all retail. Product might be unusual, but selling it isn't. If Miss Popskew is anything to go by, all the castle suppliers are a bit off. He may not be your average peddler, but he fits his working environment. I sink a straight shot. What does Carfax matter? If someone's dead, if I take your word for it. Should I be prioritizing paperwork over not dying? Barely glances at the 6-ball as he taps it the last 3 inches into the pocket. Doing your job and avoiding your death aren't mutually exclusive. Takes a bit of focus, but I rebound the 11-ball from the wall on one side to the middle pocket on the other. Explain. 4-3, the gap is closing. Dracula isn't planning on killing you. He didn't want to kill me either. If he has a usable piece, he prefers to have it in play, which means that while he believes you're his pawn, I'm safe. Fill out the forms, obey as many rules as possible, be an eager employee and a model house guest. Above all else. His cue dabs the cue ball and sends it on a gentle roll across the width of the table. Do not. 6 against 14. Mention me to him. 14 shivers on the edge, but doesn't fall. This is the best opportunity I've had to press him for actual information. Let's see what I've got. Find an angle on the cue ball that'll separate it from the 14th ball. The shot ricochets from the top of the table to the opposite side. Though I didn't dare hope, it clips the edge of 9 and sends into the middle pocket. 4-4. What is there to mention? You haven't so much as introduced yourself. There might be dozens, hundreds of ghosts in a place like this. Unless there's something special about you, I should know. He fumbles his next move. I'm not in a position to score, but I know somewhere I can move the cue ball that'll make things harder for him. I'm not buying what you're selling, Mr. Ordinary Salesman. He scrambles around the table to try and salvage his turn. Why complicate things? Think of it like cruising. The mysteries a crucial part of the appeal. Can be another nameless man in the bathroom, safety and anatomy. You think I've ever been able to go cruising? Or pace increases. Anonymity can also help keep the past a secret. Name suppression laws, for instance, to prevent the public prying into criminal history. The turn comes hard and fast. So what's your name? I don't know. Call me Vlad. That's not true. You sign your letters with an M. So did you, once. That changed. Ah. Oh, you know that, do you? What's your real name? What have you been using? Ghosts. Ghost is fine. I am one of a kind. Why? He slams the ball from the top left into the bottom right. Oh, demanding. I launch a ball off the surface and into the air for the briefest moment until it lands in a pocket. Answer the question. Both at 7 points. I like how the music increased now too. Hits the cue ball in the middle of the table. 8 balls in line with the pocket, except reaching it will be a stretch. Ghost leans on the wedge where I need to stand. An evil smile on his perfect face. Make me. Yeah? Yeah? Fine. We can play it like that. I shoved his shoulders and topped him backwards onto the felt. Though his early interactions set the expectation he'd be solid, I didn't realize he'd move and feel like a regular body. Corpse-cold body. For a moment after we land, I want to panic and apologize. Then I realized his smile has widened and his eyes are eagerly shining. Well, are you going to take the shot? I raise a knee onto the edge of the table, resting it between his. My left arm reaches forward past his head. Setting my other leg off the ground, I balance my weight between my hand and his hips. I line the cue over his chest with my right elbow stuck in the air. Now I just have to concentrate. He's not gonna land it. Bro is not gonna land it. That is a distraction and a half. I refuse to be distracted. You're not landing this, Renfield. I'm sorry. By the surface I'm playing on. He's got a swarmy look on his face. This is what he wanted. Bastard. Take the shot. It sinks. I win. I'm pretty sure this is a normal Brilliers movie. Yeah. Yeah, that's totally normal. Smile. The ghost smile cracks into a tuneful laugh. I don't know how to pronounce that. Congratulations. I'm sure that all means congratulations. I'm not sure what this first one is. I'd assume the middle one is German, right? Or somewhere along those lines. Dropping the key onto the table, I prop myself on both hands and prepare to move. He sweeps his hands underneath me and up to clutch the sides of my face. It's like an arctic crab has latched onto me, chilly, spindly fingers devoid of warmth and flesh. 1-2 punch of Romanian and German. Ah. Whatever gentleness he had yesterday has been forgotten. Didn't press hard, but it's not a pleasant sensation. It's important to be selfish here. If there's a choice between saving your own skin and somebody else's, pick yours. We'd all do the same. Then why am I helping you? His fingers slip free. He puts his hands to my chest and shoves me like I did him. I stumble back off the table onto my feet. He sits straight up, only using his core strength. Easy for someone who doesn't have to work out. Lying on his toes, he prowls around the floor. Because I'm your only hope. Fear flickers across his face at the prospect. Since I won, this is my moment. I level my cue at him like a judgmental pointer finger. Who are you? Why doesn't Dracula want us talking? What kind of help is on the offer here? Draping a hand over his features, he sighs. I tried to take something of his. He took everything from me in return. Without my missing pieces, I can never rest. But if a certain handsome someone could reassemble them, he'd gain a powerful ally. Not just an ordinary salesman. An extraordinarily talented salesman. Modest, too. Perish the thought. He's kind of a little shit, I don't like that. Do we have a deal then? Body parts in exchange for phenomenal hauntological? He sure is. If Dracula is planning to kill me, it doesn't hurt to have a counter strategy. Sure. What else am I going to do around here? Work myself to death? I retract the cue and offer a hand for him to shake. He raises a finger to his lips. Actions speak louder than words. Your prize is over there. Using his cue, he indicates the pocket the cue ball and 8-ball went into. As for our next date, oh damn, that forward, huh? We're calling it a date already. How about Ein klein Nacht music? He's actually anyway. I'm not a big Mozart fan. My terrible German. Find us a piano and a decent tune to play. Let's try a duet. You speak German, yeah? Yeah? The particular piece I like. Auf einen toten Acker hat mich mein Weg gewatscht. I 100% butchered that. His voice resonates as though this mess of old carpets and leisure furniture is a proper concert hall. You can figure it out. I most certainly cannot. I'll try. With that, our night is over. Clear the table, store the cues, flee the scene. Lingering too long in Dracula's personal lounge would be terribly foolish. Isn't this whole castle his? I'm my own man. So are you. La Rivadere? Every light fixture in the room ignites like a star. Blinding, searing, all-consuming flare. Bro went, yeah, he went to French. I would say that was French. How many languages does this guy know? When it dims, he's gone. I circle around the table to the pocket he indicated. Nothing inside but a mysterious cue ball and an 8-ball. Each now has a fine crack on its exterior like a boiled egg. I dig my nails in trying to open them further, but the resin is too thick to pry apart. Below the surface, though, there is a different substance. A pale, lightweight, mushy substance. Just what are they made of? I do some legal work for a while to make sure I don't fall behind. Midway through the evening, my dinner is delivered by that supplier, Miss Nico Popskew. Mosca with additional vegetables on the side. It's perfect, moist yet firm. Later, the plate is exchanged for chamomile tea and a shockingly dry square of millefeuille. I pick at them as I go, carefully keeping the vessels across the tabletop from the contracts. The real challenge is making sure I don't drink the inkwell instead of the tea. At midnight, I find my hands have moved from the food and the paperwork to the billiard balls. Oh yeah, we can actually look at it now, huh? Cue ball and able cracked along the surface like eggshells. What could be inside? I test their weight again and contemplate what they might be made of. The crack still hasn't widened. I could drop them on the staircase. There are, what, 50 or more steps? Anything that falls down the whole flight should break. Doesn't sound like Dracula's party is anywhere near this part of the castle. Not likely to get caught. Oh, why not? Let's try the staircase. Oh no, we're gonna find the person who's screaming. The both balls on the top stair appear into the darkness below. Despite assurances, the moonlight doesn't illuminate the steps at all well. Take a deep breath and I take a deep breath to calm myself. I push them over the edge. They roll easily, loudly, down the steps in the view and rebound from the wall in the corner. You can hear them descending the spiral. At a casual walking pace, I follow after them. They lie in the corridor below. Cracks was turned into splits, and raisin shells hatched to reveal what was inside. A pupil stares at me from inside the cue ball. I mean, it's a pair of eyes. Oh, we're just getting body parts now. Hatched from the billiard balls, plain brown. Here I'd been expecting blue. Protect them from any damage, I close the shells back around them before putting them in my pockets. Out of sight, but not out of mind. It makes my skin crawl to think of what's been done to him. Over and over asking why? How does this benefit anyone? What kind of anger drives someone to do this? I linger in the hall longer than I should, lost in thought. Just as I turn to head upstairs. Rip Bozo. What was that? Dracula's petty like that? Real. Sounded like the Englishman's sister. Dracula's performing his faith healer ritual then? If he is, it isn't working. There's also a possibility her medication wore off. Whichever it is, I can't ignore someone in this sort of distress. It's too awful to think about. Too awful to reminisce about. A building full of people and no one coming to your help because they take your pain as a given. Gotta help. Regardless of any half-remembered directive from Dracula or any half-remembered warning from Theodora, I begin to run. The intervals between the screens grow shorter, but the screens grow weaker. It's hard to tell where to turn. I had intended to use the volume as a guide, but that's not possible. Where is she? Where? Not the guest room, not the parlor, nor any of the dozens of other doors I pass. There's some kind of infirmary I missed. But if there were, why wouldn't they have put her in it earlier? Think, Renfield, think. Ah! I don't have time to think. I can hear. Terribly close. The open doors to the Great Hall. Despite Dracula's claim he'd host a party, there are just 4 people in the room. The 5th is already dead. He stands in the middle of the cluster of the girl's body slumped in his arms. The bride's flanking, clutching a shoulder or thigh each. Theodora remains concentrated on her meal. Says to adjust the shoulders to hide behind it. Ileana spits as she makes eye contact. All of them are biting the girl. Dracula, her jugular, Theodora, and says her wrist. Ileana is torn through the thick veins in her leg. They see me and stare, but none of them can wrest themselves from their prey. Even Dracula, proud and regal, lets his composure lose out to his thirst. I'm locked in place too, from fear. Too much wrong in this building to be wholly surprised, but knowing there's a wolf in the woods doesn't prepare you to face it. Rather than let this awful moment continue, I open my stupid mouth to ask the stupidest question I've ever thought of. Is she okay? Like a dog caught with a chicken from the coop, Dracula blinks slowly, his pupils focusing in his jaws and clamping from her neck. His goatee is dyed solid red with her blood. So there's a moment of wordless trembling before his mouth is able to form words. Renfield, pet, no. She's dead. And I find a way to make it worse. Why? Because the house has needs, and the master must provide. Releasing his grip on her torso, he drops her into the bride's arms where they are able to bite and gnaw even more ferociously. Compared to them, his animalism is restrained. They have a focus and shame and spite, but nothing else, no instinct to stop before the well runs dry. He realizes he won't have my attention while the bride and the body and the brides are in view. Rather than step around them, he dissipates into a pitch black smoke and surges through the group, coalescing in front of me. For a moment after he reforms, his eye have that awful hollow look again. His features are contorted. He extends a hand to me. Not to worry. Your fate will be different. Oh, hello. Hi? Damn. Think powerful thing will you have in 500 years? So they think there's 2 other routes so far. We will be stopping there though. I am really excited to try this game out once it fully releases. I feel this again. This is definitely just straight up my alley now. Now I even know that the MC is trans too. That's like wow. Well, I kind of have to play this game now, as if I wasn't already before. Yep, 2, and yeah, I'm surprised at how long you play. It's really good. Thank you for streaming. I'm glad it's been fun for you. Yeah, thank you for making this game. I've really enjoyed it. And again, I'm like super excited to actually play the full version when it's out. I'll probably play the other routes off stream in my own time, but I had a lot of fun. Thank you. That as the ending screen says, you can wishlist it, follow them on Twitter. Uh yeah. I again super excited. Game looks amazing and definitely is gonna be a frame one buy. For now though, we can see who we can raid. Who is alive right now? Oh, Cruz is playing right now. Okay, we'll visit Cruz. I don't think we've raided in a sec. Oh, yeah, let me see. Alright, be sure to say hello to Cruz. I will be heading out for tonight. Again, thank you all for stopping by. If you're new to the stream, be me on Twitter and join the Discord. I try to have like an actual schedule, but yeah, it doesn't always happen, but I'll tweet out when I stream on Twitter. But yeah, again, thank you all for coming and have a good night. Bye-bye.